Hello and happy Spotify Wrapped Day. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for Spotify Wrapped to come out, much like everybody else, and I'm so happy that they have finally dropped it. I am so excited to see my Spotify Wrapped and how chaotic I think it's going to be, but I'm also a little bit intrigued to see what it's like this year. I have seen some chatter online and it seems like people are not happy with their Spotify Wrapped, slash they might have taken away some of the usual categories that they have had for the past few years. So I'm very interested to see how it all turns out, but still excited overall. So as usual with these videos, I'm going to run through my predictions for each of the typical categories. Whether or not they are still there, I don't know. And then I will get into my actual Spotify Wrapped. But before we jump into that, I want to do the fun game that I see people doing on Twitter all the time with their Spotify Wraps, which is if you give me a number 1 through 100, I think it is, I'll give you a song off of my Spotify Wrapped playlist that they make. So to start with my predictions, some overall general predictions, I think that my Spotify Wrapped this year is going to be pretty chaotic and diverse compared to other years. I feel like I've gone through a lot of really nostalgic phases this year with, you know, going back and revisiting some of the artists and albums that I really used to love a few years ago or even when I was a kid. Usually I try not to let those impulses to re-listen to those things take over because I don't want them to show up in my Spotify Wrapped, but at a certain point this year I was just like, you know what? Whatever, I'm just gonna let it happen. So I think there's gonna be a lot of that in there, and then I also got into a lot of new artists this year too, so I think potentially as a result K-pop is gonna take a backseat this year. I think it'll still be, you know, mixed in somewhere, but I'm not sure that a K-pop artist or a K-pop song is going to be high on my top 5, if that makes sense. So then as for my top artists, I am thinking Sabrina Carpenter, Girly Girl Productions, which is so embarrassing. That is an AI artist that I found on TikTok. Unfortunate. Luke Combs, Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, Bo Burnham, Tate McRae, Beyonce, Role Model, LE SSERAFIM, and Stray Kids. I don't think LE SSERAFIM or Stray Kids are going to be high on that list, but I'm put them there just in case. And then for my top songs, I am thinking Espresso, Hot to Go, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, Anti-Crush / 10 Drunk Cigarettes by Girly Girl Productions, Hell of a Ride, 360, Summer Clothes, Levi's Jeans, Superglue, and The Dinner. And then top genres, I have more predictions than just like 2 like I've had in the past, but they are pop, K-pop, pop punk / alternative, country, and comedy. Listening time, I think this might have been one of the categories that was done away with, but my guess is around 40k to 60k minutes. I feel like I've really been listening to music a lot more this year, so I'm thinking much higher than last year. I think it was around like 30k or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. I think those are the typical categories that they usually have, so those are my predictions. So let's finally get into my Spotify Wrapped. I've been waiting all day for it. Alrighty, let's do it. Oh, let me turn that down so I don't get copyright claimed on this video. Awesome. I always forget that my whole name is there. It's that time of year again. Wraps ready. Are you? Life moves fast. Oh god, I already hear the Girly Girl Productions song playing in the background. Oh my god. I'm scared. Oh! I only listened for 35,747 minutes this year. That feels really low. Is that less than last year? I don't remember. Oh. Top 9% of listeners worldwide. Biggest listening day was September 28th. What was I doing that day? That's crazy. Played 952 songs this year. Okay. Is Espresso my top song? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You are in the top 0.001% of listeners globally. That's crazy. How many times did I listen to this freaking song? 275 times. Wow. Commitment never sounded so good. Period. Ooh, well, it's not a competition. This is the leaderboard, or there is a leaderboard. I love when I can't read. Okay. Wow. I was kind of way off with my top song predictions. Okay. I expected Espresso and Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, but the other ones, not so much. Okay, so my top 5 are Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, X's by Tate McRae. I did love that one when I found it, actually, now that I think about it. Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma from Twisters by Luke Combs, and Loud by the Home Team, coming out of nowhere. Okay, interesting. There's no K-pop in my top 5 at all. Oh my god! That's a first. I think ever since they started doing Spotify Rap, that's a first. That I haven't had any... Wow. Okay. You've changed, and so is your listening. Okay. Oh, my music evolution. This is a new category. January. Hallyu Catwalk K-pop phase. Okay. Really into artists like Stray Kids, LE SSERAFIM, and ITZY. Yeah. ITZY had their comeback, I think. Was that this year? I think it was. With Born to Be in January? Pumpkin Spice Roller Skating Pop? Sabrina, Tate McRae, and Chappell Roan. Okay. So we're going from February to September all of a sudden? Why? September was your breakup slow dance country moment, and the background song is Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. That makes sense. I watched Twisters in September. Got obsessed with Glenn Powell in September. Never let go of that song. You were big on artists like Luke Combs, Rascal Flatts, and Hunter Hayes. Okay, yep, there's that nostalgia I was talking about with Rascal Flatts and Hunter Hayes. Shit, I'm scared now for my playlist. And my top artists. 187 artists, okay. But one had a special place in your heart and ears. Was it Sabrina? Yes, Sabrina! Longest listening streak, 34 days. Okay. You're a top 0.05 fan. Wow, 5,416 minutes together. No way. No way my video unfocused. This would happen to me. Are you kidding? Okay, so I don't know when it unfocused, but Sabrina is my top artist, and we spent 5,416 minutes together. How exciting. You overachiever, absolutely. Oh my god, I'm scared. Who are the rest of my top artists? Grayscale, okay. Oh, okay. Nice. Hello, video, please focus. There we go. So my top artists, Sabrina Carpenter, Grayscale, Stray Kids in the top 3. We like that. Olivia Rodrigo, and Tate McRae. Okay, so this is the year of the pop girlies, methinks. Besides Grayscale and Stray Kids, obviously. How exciting! That's impressive. I feel like I didn't listen to Stray Kids as much as usual this year, but they still ended up in my top 5. We love that. What is left? What is this? Oh!
Hello, it's Sabrina, and if you got this message, that means I am one of your top most listened to artists of the year.
Heck yeah!
I just want to say thank you for all the love. This year has been definitely one of the most exciting, most special, pivotal years of my life. And thanks for letting me spend so much time in your eardrums, and I hope you have a great great new year, and I'll see you next year for lots more. Mwah.
Heck yeah, Sabrina. Oh, is that it? I'm scared. I think that's it. Not this. Need some cocaine? Do you have some? Oh my god, this song is crazy. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna turn the volume down on this. Well, this was definitely very interesting. Obviously I haven't seen the playlist yet, but it's not as chaotic as I was expecting. I don't know why I thought my top 5 was going to be a little bit more chaotic than this, but definitely very interesting. I think I got most of my top artists though with Sabrina. I put Stray Kids as a top artist just in case. I think I had Olivia and did I have Tate in my top artist? I don't remember. And I literally just said it like 10 minutes ago, something like that. Okay, yeah, I had Sabrina, Olivia, Tate, and Stray Kids. I did not have Grayscale in my top artist predictions though. But I was way off from my top songs. Oh my god. I thought I had listened to some of the ones that I had listed way more than I guess I actually did. I guess I forgot what I was listening to throughout the year. I think I've blacked out for most of the year. That's pretty awesome. Okay. I don't know. I feel like my minutes listened feels way low for how much I remember using Spotify this year and like playing Spotify. Like normally I really only listen to it like at home. I try my hardest not to like use my data and listen to it in the car or anything, but I've been just abandoning that and listening to it so much all the time in the car, so that feels wrong. That feels really low. But that's the only thing that feels wrong. So, okay. Well, I guess that is it for Spotify Wrapped 2024. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm disappointed by Wrapped this year. I think they had a lot, if not all, of the same categories that they've used to have. I think the like listening personality or whatever thing for each month was kind of interesting, but I don't know why we did a gigantic skip from January and February to September and then we stopped there. I don't know if it would have just been like redundant and boring to have it for like every month, but I don't know. It was an interesting new category. Definitely feel free to share your Spotify Wraps and your top artists and top songs and things in the comments. And again, if you want a song from my Spotify Wrapped playlist, give me a number from 1 to 100 and I will give you a little recommendation. Hopefully it's not something weird like one of the AI songs that I became obsessed with in the past couple of months. But yeah, that is all for this video and I will see you in my next one.